Hello there, Kanokarab here, and we are standing on top of our wagon in a brand new in town world. Not for a Let's Play though, no. This is going to be the first dev diary video that I'll be posting to the channel. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. I hope it'll be interesting and entertaining for you guys. We've got a lot of stuff to go over and also not very much. I'm going to try to, keep some content for future dev diary videos if this one is interesting enough for people to hang out for. With that said, let's go ahead and start diving right in. So I wanted to take some time to kind of show you guys what I've been working on with regards to the next New in Town update. Originally the plan for the next major update to New in Town was going to be the Dimensions update, and the hope being that it will be simultaneous with 1.17's release. Not sure whether that is going to quite happen, whether it's going to include all the content or if we're just going to have what is finished at that time. Kind of similar to how New in Town launched with just Kingdoms and Counteroffensive, and then Refugee was added later. I'm also not really quite sure. I've been saying, since the beginning that the plan is for Dimensions to be roped into New in Town proper, but I'm not sure whether that is going to still end up being the case. So if you have a preference one way or the other, please feel free to let me know, because I do want to take the community feedback in mind with regards to how New in Town moves forward. Of course, being the sole developer, the vision for New in Town is mine alone, and I have my ideas for what the spirit of New in Town entails. But I still want to consider the community's feelings, the players' preferences with regards to certain aspects. So I do value your guys' opinion very much. So please let me know on all of those fronts whether you think Dimensions should be with 1.17, whether it's finished or not, whether it should wait till it's finished, even if it takes till 1.18, and whether you want it in the base New in Town. With that said, like I said, Dimensions was going to be the next major update, but I've actually been working on some new stuff and have some other ideas that I may or may not implement, all of which are going to come into an update probably right before then, possibly depending on the timing, possibly along with the Dimensions update with 1.17, we will see. But I want to show you kind of what I've been looking to or working on. So let's go ahead and buy a new site recipe book from the town planner. And actually, let's take a look at the advancements here. Never mind, we can't see it. So let's look at our recipe book. So you can see it's a few pages longer, I believe 2 or 3 pages longer than before. So let's see what those new recipes are. So if we go over here, we've got here we go, a barnyard. So we'll go ahead and build that up real quick. I'll show you how that kind of works. You'll see it's a fairly expensive structure, and we'll go into why exactly that is, but you need 3 half stacks of crimson logs, a half stack of stone and of logs, lots of hay. So pretty expensive structure, but pretty useful. We'll go into the details of that when we build it. We also have a railway station, which I think is going to be very exciting. So we'll get to that in a minute as well. And then I also, before we even jump into those two, I'm going to show you, oh, why did I do that? I need that. There we go. I'm going to show you also the farm plot, because that has received some changes. So it's a little bit more expensive now. You'll notice we need 12 wheat and 12 carrots instead of 3 and 3. And I think a few more logs, 12 and 12 for that. So let's go ahead and build that real quick. We need an iron hoe, 24 oak logs. There we go. We need 12 wheat and 12 carrots. So let's do that. Awesome. The wheat, I think, is over here. Yes, indeed. And then the water bucket, and I think 8 stone. Oh, no, water bucket. There you go. 8 stone. Awesome. So you've got wheat, hoe, carrots, logs. We'll need a building permit. We'll go ahead and just grab 64 of those. Put that right there. You've got stone, water bucket, stone. What did I get wrong? Farm plot. Okay, I may just not have changed the recipe in the advancement yet. Let's see here. Oh no, it's wheat seeds. I'm dumb. That's why. Wheat seeds, not wheat. There it is. So we'll ignore the nether attack for now. So you can see the farm plot is much larger. It now has a villager, a farmhand here, who can sell and trade some of the crops that are here. Still the same 3 crops, your carrots, your wheat, and your potatoes. They are organized in rows. There's a lot more of it here. The water is still a little more than is necessary, but isn't quite as obtrusive. And you'll see here we've got this chest, which actually destroyed some of the crops here. And this chest, there's no sign for it, it's not labeled, but let's go ahead and change the time of day to 5900. It'll be right before noon. So we'll wait a couple of seconds. We're not going to get a tone because we don't have a minor lumber mill, but if we look in this chest, we've now received some crops that our farmhand has harvested for us. So this is the major change to the farm plot. It now collects daily resources into this chest, and it is, of course, much larger. But more interestingly, it actually, let's go ahead and use an advancement now for the rest. So only Nikkei recipes, recipe farm plot. So only the first farm plot that you build is going to have that chest, but it's going to, that chest is going to stack and collect resources from all of the farm hands in your town. So if we change to noon again, we'll wait a couple of seconds here, and we should get twice as many materials. And there's some variance to it. You're going to get potatoes and carrots approximately the same weight, and then you're going to get some combination of wheat and wheat seeds in total about the same weight as potatoes and carrots. So there's definitely some randomness to it with regards to what is going to be the highest yield for any particular day. But in general, over time, you're going to end up with the same amount of each of these two and these 3 combined approximately. So it encourages you to build farm plots, and unlike before, the villager, of course, counts as a citizen, so he's going to contribute to taxes. You can trade with him. So it encourages building farm plots at all, whereas before they were a little bit lame, and now it encourages you to build multiple farm plots. Doesn't double with resource silos, obviously because the materials don't go to the resource silo, but still very useful to now have sort of an agricultural sector of your town. And we're going to have a forest fire. Let's go ahead and turn fire tick off. There we go. Okay, moving on. Let's go do the barn here real quick. So let's grab, we need a total of 32 logs and 32 stone. We need 3 stacks of 32 crimson stem. And we need some hay bales, I believe 12. I'll go ahead and just do that. And then 4 composters down here. Oh, so let's go ahead and build this. We've got that right. Oh, nope, right there. Building permit, composter, logs, hay bale. So this is our barnyard, and it is 2 plots long. So it takes up 2 whole sites. You get site planners at the ends here, all the way around it that there are empty slots for. And notably, the barn actually rotates so that the front, the chest here, faces the player, or faces, or at least the site planner that it was built from, no matter where it is built. So if we put another barn, let's do it right here, because I do want to show off another aspect. Grant at S only recipes, recipe barn. So there we go. So the reason for this is the site has to, or the site planner has to be able to check if the far end is taken or not, because of course for normal site planners, they don't really need to check if there's a slot here, or if there's a site already here, because that was checked when the site planner was generated. But that's not true for that far site. So for example, if I use that same command right here, it's going to tell us there's not enough room for it, because it would go out this way with the chest right here and going out that way, and this site is already taken. So it's important that the building rotates to be long ways every time, so that it can make sure that there's room for the structure. This rotation is probably not going to be implemented for the single distance, or single plot sites. I'm gonna set the time to like 1200. There we go. So we have some more daylight. Blah blah blah. Where was I going? Oh yeah, it's probably not going to be implemented for the single plot sites like the homestead and lumber mill and stuff. Not because it's difficult, but because it's fairly tedious to do for all of those sites, because they all face different directions. For all of the 2 plot structures now and moving forward, I'll just build them all facing the same direction, and then they can just be easily ported into the already existing rotation functionality. But for the single plot sites, because I didn't have rotation at the time, or didn't make them rotate at the time, they all face different directions, so there's a little bit of variance with how your town is laid out. So, making them fit, I can make them rotate, but making them rotate so they always face forward would just be very tedious to do at this point. So it's not currently a priority. Maybe it'll happen in the future, but I'm not making any guarantees on that. So let's actually look at what the barn includes right now. So inside the barn, we've got 12 farm animals, various cows, sheep, pigs. We got a mule over here, so that's pretty cool. And then we've got a composter over here, a well, some pigs playing in some mud, little pond, and a tree. And then we've got this chest here, this manure deposit. And this, when we do time set 5900 again, every day the chest will fill up with quote-unquote manure, which in this case presents in the form of a collection of bone meal and other bone mealable or compostable plants like flowers, grass, and ferns. You don't have to compost those, you can use those for whatever, but you'll get some bone meal in here kind of mixed in. That doesn't stack, of course, into the same chest per barn, so every barn's going to have its own manure collection, but you can use that to help kind of supplement your bone meal supply, for example, for your farms. So that is the main purpose of the barn. It's also just a really cool big structure. I think the use of crimson planks for that red barn feel is really cool. And then, of course, you've got all these animals in here that you can use to breed. You can milk the cows, of course. Try not to take too much away from the butchery. So there's no villager in here that sells you farm animal related things, but you can still breed the animals here in a very convenient location. So let's come out here and move on to the next structure, which is the railway station. And that's pretty involved, so I'm excited to show you guys how that works. So we need a total of 2 stacks of logs, 8 lanterns, a half stack of stone, 48 iron ingots, and 16 redstone. So let's go ahead and collect all of that here. We're going to need 48 iron ingots, 16 redstone, 2 stacks of logs. I'll just grab 1 for now. Some of that, and then the lanterns, which are in here. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Nope, 7, 8. There we go. Now let's put our railway station right here. So we'll do this and this. Lanterns right here. Logs and logs. And we'll go ahead and kill those gas so they're not in our way. Type gas. Ooh, it's a very, very close portal. That's cool. So, the railway station is, of course, also a 2-plot structure. So it extends outward. It always rotates just like the barn. And if we go inside the entrance here... Oh, the paintings always fall off the wall. I can't figure out why. We've got our conductor in here. And he's going to sell us a couple of minecart rail-related things. So he sells us rails. This is the trade that used to belong to the Adventure Guild. The Adventure Guild's adventurer trade that was this has been changed to something else, which I may or may not show you later on. But then he's also got the railway recipes book. So if we take a look at our railway recipes so actually let's go outside here real quick. So on the sides here we've got normal site planners as you would expect, but then back here you see we've got some minecart rails that go out, and this is a rail planner instead of a site planner. So if we look in our recipe book, we can use the rail planners at the ends of the station's rails to build extensions. So we can build more railway stations, from railway planners, and then we can also build some straight rails and some railway turntables. So let's go ahead and start building some railways out here. So we're going to need some more iron, some more stone and logs and redstone. Now for the turntables and for the straight rails, you do not need building permits. You just need redstone in the middle. But for railway stations, you do need a building permit. So let's go ahead and take a look in here and see what it looks like. I'm actually going to do some of this to make it easier on myself. I'm going to put that right there and there. There we go. Did I do that wrong? Oh, duh, because it's not a building permit. It's redstone. There we go. So we've got our straight rail connects right away to our railway station. We've got some powered rails. Oops. Powered rails right there, as well as a redstone lamp. Kind of good that I broke that so I could show you. And then another rail planner here at the end. So we can keep building outwards. Let's go ahead and do that for a little while. So we'll come along this way. Very nice. It's gonna... Ooh. Oh, no. There we go. It's gonna hover a little bit, but that's what the stone and gravel underneath the rail is for. The railway is for. Oh, actually, I just updated this structure. This is the old version, so the rails look a little bit different, or will look a little bit different later on. Let's go ahead and switch it back to day so we have some more daylight. And we'll continue on for a little bit, and then I think we'll turn. So, straight, and straight. And let's go ahead and do a turntable right here. There we go. So the turntable can be a little bit tricky to use. Obviously we're hovering because it's a pretty low terrain right here. But as you approach, of course, you have this button here to activate this rail. That can let you, of course, continue on for the direction that you would like to go. And then you can use this lever as many times as you need, such as while you're stopped at these depowered rails, to turn in the direction that you would like to go. So it's a little bit slow, but so are real-life turntables. So I feel like it fits in perfectly nicely. So for example, if we wanted to turn that way, I'd probably keep the lever pointed as such, and then when we were approaching, we would just press this button to continue forward, press this button to continue forward, and then go straight along this way. So let's go out decent ways, and then we will talk about what happens next. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've made it a very solid distance. The rails are kind of hovering over some of this low terrain, but we're back up to some higher terrain now. So let's say that this is as far as we want to go, and we want to go ahead and establish a bit of a kind of outpost settlement colony type situation way out here. So to do that, we just build another railway. This connects at the back now instead. And we continue the rails into the railway station. So I'm playing now on a, I forgot to update the structure before I started recording this video. So the one thing that will change from this to the version that you'll be playing is right about here will be another town planner. And the reason for that is twofold. A, so that you have access to some site recipe books and building permits way out here at your new colony, and B, so that the colony actually has purpose. Now, what do I mean by that? So right now, if playing on this version, if I were to build, say, a mine right here, then the resources would still be collected way out there at our town, or if there were another town right around here, say, for example, that would go to that town instead of anywhere else, instead of my town. So the reason for there being a town planner here is so that doesn't happen. Instead, what you are recommended to do, what you're encouraged to do, and why making railway stations way out to colonies like this will be encouraged and useful, is if you were to build a mine and then a resource silo right here. The mine's resources would go to the resource silo here at the colony. And that means without overwriting the resource silo that you have at your town. So usually, if you build 2 resource silos, only the most recently built resource silo will collect daily resources from your mines and lumber mills, and the old one will become defunct, and you can kind of use it as bulk storage for anything else that you want, because nothing else is going to be automatically collected there. When you build a resource silo out here at a colony, that is not the case. Instead, it's going to basically allow you to have 2 resource silos. You can have 1 resource silo here, 1 resource silo back at your original town, and as long as they're both loaded, they'll both collect double resources from the nearby structures. They'll only go to the nearest, obviously, so this mine would send 24 stone to this resource silo, and that is it. And then the other mine, the mines over there, would send 24 stone to the resource silo over there. So you can't have a mine here, resource silo, and have 48. So that is the purpose of building a railway station very far away. So of course, when you build a railway station at the new colony, you've got your rail planners connecting to the sites, right, or to the sides of the rails right here. But then if we come over here, we have normal site planners again. So we can continue to expand our town outward from here. So like I said, we could build a mine. Recipe. Mine. There we go. That also means that you could build your castle way out away from the town, but you would not be able to get more castle permits. The town planner that is summoned here will not have the castle permit trade at all, so you can still only have 6 castle wings for your castle. And there's a reason for that. I feel like it adds to the interest and the exclusivity, the luxury of a castle. You can only have so big a castle and only 6 of the 7 wings if you choose to do 1 of each. Let's go ahead and head back to the town. I'm pretty sure... Oh, let's kill those ghasts too, just so they're not annoying. There we go. I'm pretty sure that is all I have to show you at this point in time. There is a little bit more that I'm planning on. I'm trying to think of at least 1 more 2-plot structure to put in here. So if you think of anything, feel free to let me know. I would be very interested in putting in at least 1 more 2-plot structure, which is required, I will say, for the advancements. The completionist advancement piece in the kingdom, the barn and the railway station. The rails and the turntables are not, but the barn and the railway station, you do have to build those for the peace in the kingdom advancement moving forward. Same with the farm plot, obviously that's always been the case. But I believe that is all that I really have to show you at this point. Let me just double check and make sure. The mining drill, of course, has been in the latest update for a little bit. Yep, I think we're looking good. So as I said, I don't plan on implementing rotation for the single site. Did I not turn fire check off? I thought I did. Whatever. I don't plan on implementing site rotation for the single plot structures at this time, just because it'd be very tedious to go through and do, since they all face different directions right now. And also, what was I also doing? I forgot now. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, I'm considering, possibly maybe, making it so that you can have multiple levels to your town, so that your town can fold along with the changing height of the terrain. So you could build a staircase right here, for example, and build a higher level to your town, and you would still not have site planners in the way that could potentially overwrite that structure. I'm still deciding whether that's something I want to do, whether that's something that would be easy to do without breaking too much and having to rewrite too much code. But I think it's getting to be about that time where that's a very serious consideration, especially with the rails. If you could build ramping rails going down and up, that would of course open up opportunity to build rails underground, as well as have huge bridges, trailing over the world, that are minecart rails. So that is something I'm considering. I would appreciate trying to hold your breath a little bit on that, and waiting until I have more information on whether that is going to be happening, because I've said it before, but I'm not a genius. I'm not some master of commands and data packs. I have a vision for Newentown, and I'm trying to bring it to life in a way that is exciting and interesting for me, and that I hope and thankfully so far has been exciting and interesting for such a wide and welcoming community. So I want to thank you guys again for being that community for me. It means a lot that we've had so much success with Newentown going forward. We just passed 18,000 downloads after just passing 17,000 downloads like 2 weeks ago. I really appreciate all the support that you guys have given me, and I hope that you'll stick with me as I continue to update and bring new buildings, new features to Newentown. I do want to speak real quick. I'm going to be making a video about the popularity questionnaire that I have been having in the video descriptions. After the last little bit, it's also in the description of this video if you'd like to put in your word. It doesn't matter if you've played Newentown or you just watched the Let's Plays, or this is your first introduction to what Newentown is and means. I would appreciate your feedback on what the future of Newentown might look like and might hold. But I'm going to be making a video going over that. One thing that I do want to kind of speak to right now, Newentown is, of course, it's always going to be improving and adding new features, and it's always going to be trying to improve its performance and optimization. Unfortunately, by virtue of being such a big data pack with all kinds of different features implemented in different ways, it's going to contribute some lag. If we look right now, I'm sitting here at 13 MSPT, which isn't horrible, but it is noticeable, understandably so. I'm playing with shaders on right now too, of course, so that doesn't help. But a fully established town can bring you up to 15 or 20 MSPT, and I know that can be a drag, especially if you're on a lower end computer. So while I'm always working on optimizing Newentown, there's only so much that I can do. The site planners, building new sites, it used to be done entirely by functions that were running on a tick clock, and it was constantly checking, is the site planner have a recipe in it? And now it uses advancements, which are much less performance heavy. So I'm always doing things to try to improve performance, and when I'm adding new features, I'm always trying to keep optimization in mind. But there's only so much that I can do because it's so big. With that said, there is going to be almost certainly a huge improvement in optimization when 1.17 releases, because we will have access to the marker entity, which is much less performance heavy than the invisible area effect clouds that are currently being used for everything. So right now, if we turn on hitboxes, there's an entity inside the site planner, and it's an area effect cloud, which is, nice. It doesn't move, it doesn't have a lot of calculations, but it does exist, and there are functions running from it, which causes certain amounts of lag. Small amounts, but they add up, and I understand that. So the marker entities will hopefully drastically reduce the amount of performance. Huge sprawling towns are always going to weigh more heavily on performance, and that's why I encourage people to destroy site planners that they're not going to use, because that just erases the entities that would be there. And I also encourage, of course, building walls from the site planners that you don't plan to expand out from any further, because the site planners in particular are what's causing a lot of it. Not everything, but I just wanted to touch on that. I know Newentown isn't. I mean, it's a data pack. It's a huge data pack. Data packs are more performance heavy than mods, and it's a huge data pack, so it's going to be more performance heavy than some smaller ones. So please bear with me, understand that, and work with me as I continue to work on improving that. But there's probably not going to be a whole lot more that I can do until we get 1.17 and we get marker entities. With that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Dev Diaries. I don't know whether there will be more or when the next one will be, but I plan to kind of keep you guys more informed about what I'm working on and what it means for the future of New in Town going forward. So I appreciate, once again, all the support that this data pack has gotten, that this channel has gotten. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.